Hi, boys and girls. We are back for our final day of review and routines, and we are working on day 14 and 15. So I have decided to combine both days because we are going to be talking about affixes. And as you can see on your screen in front of you, an affix is an additional group of letters that are placed at the beginning or at the end of a root, stem, or word, or in the body of a word to change its meaning. So some of you may not have heard the term affix before, but I am certain that you have all heard the terms prefix and suffix. So a prefix is a group of letters that is added to the beginning of a word, and it changes the meaning of the word by making it negative, showing repetition, or indicating an opinion. So before we touch on suffixes, let's take a look at prefixes. Here are a few prefixes. We have dis, un, pre, and re. Now remember, prefixes get added to the beginning of the word. If you look at the word prefix, you actually can see a prefix in the word prefixes, pre. And if we look, pre means before. Okay? Let's take a look at some of these other prefixes. Un. When you add that to the beginning of a word, it's going to change the word to mean not or the opposite of whatever that root word is. Same thing with the prefix dis. And then we've already talked about pre. When we add pre to the beginning of a word, it means before. And then the word re means again, or the prefix re means again. So we're going to take a look at how we can change some words, and then we're going to take a look at a whole bunch of words and define the meanings. So here we have happy, build, able, do, heat, and agree. Now I'm going to tell you how I want the word to be changed, and you are going to think about the prefix you would use. So let's look at this first word here, happy. If I wanted to say that I was not happy, which prefix would I use? I added a little cheat box down here so that you can recall the different prefixes that we are focusing on. If I wanted to say that I was not happy, I would say that I was unhappy. If I wanted to say that I wanted to build the house again, which prefix would I use? Un, dis, pre, or re? If I wanted to build again, I would say rebuild. What if I was not able to do something? Not able to do something. I would say I was unable to complete my homework. What if we as teachers send back an assignment and ask you to do the assignment again? What would we be asking you to do? We would be asking you to redo your assignment. What if I wanted to heat the oven? So the oven is not hot yet, and I wanted to heat the oven. I would say that I am going to preheat the oven. And what if I did not agree with your opinion? You might say that I disagree, meaning I do not agree. Let's take a look at some other words, and then I'm going to give you an opportunity to think of some words on your own. Here we have in different categories each one of our prefixes. Unlikely means not likely. Untie is the opposite of tying your shoes. Unsuccessful is the opposite of successful or not successful. Reappear means to appear again. Redo, we already talked about on our last slide, means to do again. Remake, can you guess what that means? That's right, it means to make again. Disable is the opposite of able. Disinfect is the opposite of infect. And disappear is the opposite of appear. Over here we have preschool. This is before school. Preseason, before the season. So something you might think about is preseason baseball or preseason football that athletes play before the actual season starts. And pre-order, it means to order before. I want you to take a piece of scrap paper out and think about some words that might have a prefix that you have heard of. And I want you to jot those down right now. Here are some of the words that I came up with. Pretest, predict, preview, prepare, revise, replay, refresh, dislike, disqualify, disconnect, undo, untidy, and unusual. Now let's take a look at suffixes. A suffix is an affix, which we talked about earlier, and we said is a group of letters placed at the beginning or end. So a suffix is an affix that's added to the end of a word, and it adds to the meaning of a word, and sometimes changes the meaning of the word. Let's take a look at some suffixes right now. Today we're going to be talking about the suffixes less, full, able, ness, and meant. The suffix less, remember, added to the end of a word, means without. The suffix full means full of or an amount that fills. Able, added to the end of a word, means can be done, worthy of, or likely to. Ness means state of or condition of. And finally, the suffix meant is used to indicate action or process. Let's take a look at how some of these suffixes are used in words. The first word we see is laughable. We know that able or able means can be done. Goodness. Here we see the suffix ness. Ageless. Less is our suffix. Colorful or full of color. Full is our suffix. And finally, we have movement. Meant is our suffix. And this word indicates an action. Now it's your turn to take a few minutes and think about words that have suffixes. When you're ready to compare your answers to mine, press play. Argument and placement both indicate an action or a process. Lovable, able to love, happiness. Remember, ness means state of or condition of. Predictable, able to predict. Weakness, again, ness indicates the state or condition of. Careful, full of care. Priceless, without a price. Hopeless, without hope. Graceful, full of grace. You all did an excellent job, and I hope you are all ready to begin Unit 1 on Monday. Have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you back on Monday.